bloop. All right, and I'm going to start the live stream now. All right, hello, Kennedy families. I have an indicator that we are live, although if I'm right, I don't see that anyone has joined us yet. Let me see. Oh, there's one. Awesome. Woo! Hi, welcome to the Kennedy Middle Level Open House. My name is Mike Smith, and I'm the assistant principal here at Kennedy. And I have the distinct honor of getting to kind of walk you through what middle level life is like here at Kennedy. So first, I just thought I'd say hello to you and introduce you to myself. So this is my first year here at Kennedy. Before I was an administrator, I was a middle school band teacher for 13 years. So I feel like middle school people are my people, both teachers and kids. And I'm really looking forward to having our middle schoolers come back and join us in the building again next week. But this is something I was glad that I got to be a part of tonight because, like I said, I so enjoy middle school people. So with me tonight, who I don't think you can see at the moment, but who will be here in case questions arise, are members of our middle level staff to help make sure that if you do have questions that I can't answer, they can, because to be honest, they are amazing people and know a lot more about Kennedy than I do, seeing as it's my first year here. So our goal for tonight is to give you as much information as we can to help all of you feel at ease about coming and joining the middle school at Kennedy or continuing on at the middle school here at Kennedy. I'm going to try to walk you through some of the more common frequently asked questions and what it's like here. And at the same time, I'm going to present my screen in just a moment, and there'll be a form for you that I'll bring your attention to where if you have questions about anything related to middle school at Kennedy, you can go ahead and pop your question into that link. And then we have our wonderful counselor, Ms. Thompson, monitoring that response sheet so that we can answer them as we go or at the end if we need to for time. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to pop up my presentation. All right, and I'm going to pop back over here for a second. Middle school folks, am I presenting successfully? Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. Oh, thanks, Dana. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to pop back up to the start. So as I was saying before, obviously, welcome to Kennedy. I know I've only been here for 4 months or so, but and during a pretty crazy time to be starting a new job, but stepping into this place has been amazing. And the staff has been super welcoming and the kids have been so fun and so cool. And that's one of the main reasons I'm excited to share Kennedy with all of you. Is in 4 months, I felt like this place has just really welcomed me in, and they're going to do the same for your kids as you transition from elementary school to the middle school. So it's a pretty great place. So our goal for tonight is to go through questions if you have them. We'll talk about the staff here, the structure, how we handle devices, which at this point is probably less of a transition for all of you than it may have been last year. And then talking about some more just middle school philosophy things as well as activities and athletics. So I know this is not a perfectly easy URL to use or link to use. And I know as a live stream, you can't click it, but I made it as short and easy to read as I could. If you do have questions that you'd like to ask and you don't have that flyer that we sent out in front of you, this is the same link right here. So if you type that in to your device and go to this URL, you should be able to come to the same form. However, admittedly, it is the same one that we sent out to you in flyers earlier tonight and late last week. So this is it right here. And if you need it again, we can always, I can always pop it back up. So I heard a question. Oh, there it is. Thank you for putting that in the chat, Dana. I'm not 100% sure if they can see it, but we're covering it from every possible angle, which I appreciate. So first, like I said, have the honor of being the assistant principal here at Kennedy, and we also have our principal, Miss Anna Wilhite, who is also outstanding. And she could not join us this evening, but she's also talked to me about how much she loves the middle school here and wants me to make sure that I sing the praises of Kennedy at the top of my lungs, because she loves it here, and you can see it in every kid that she talks to and every staff member she works with. She's outstanding. So there we are. So the basic structure of middle level here at Kennedy is that we have grades 6 through 8. There are 6 classes or transitions during the day. So this year obviously is different, and I'm going to try my best to talk about things as they normally are, despite the fact that I've only been here when they aren't really normal. But we're assuming a level of normalcy when we come back next fall and your students join us at the middle school. So there's normally 6 classes in a day. And then in addition to those 6 classes where kids would go from class to class, all, with a passing time, there's also an advisory or a homeroom, as you might be more used to it, where they have a teacher that they can connect with every day and touch base with and kind of have a landing ground, build relationships with, and that advisory teacher kind of becomes their main point of contact and a person that you'll get to know really well, and is special because they're that first point of contact for a lot of families. And because they get to know your students so well, it's really easy to have conversations with them about academics or activities or how things are going socially or homework or anything else that we might need of them or have questions for. They're outstanding advisors. So a part of these 6 classes that we have, there's kind of the 4, what most people call core classes. There's a language arts, a math, a science, and a social studies. And then in addition to those 4 main core classes, we also have currently a rotation of Phi Ed, music, which is its own choice that we will talk about in a little bit more depth later, as well as an art class. And then again, on top of that, the 6th one would be a different allied option. And that's dependent on a few things, but one of them is what grade level you're in. And I do have those here. I know they're not listed on the screen for you, but in 6th grade, currently we offer, there's a coding class in 6th grade. There's a class called Kennedy Fit that Mr. Ritter, one of our Phi Ed teachers, started offering this year, that has been great. It's kind of a lifestyle fitness class where kids have a lot of ownership in their level of fitness and look at ways they can do that lifelong. And there's also a health class. And then in 7th and 8th grade, there are classes similar to that. There's a Kennedy Fit. There's an excellent robotics class taught by one of our teachers, Miss Kyle. There's a class that's offered in 7th and 8th grade called Gear Up, Get Ready, which again, we can get into allieds a little bit more detail later. But it's sort of a study skills style class. A lot of kids we know don't learn some of those necessary academic skills until it's too late. I myself didn't really learn how to study until college because no one really taught me. No one taught me how to take notes. No one taught me how to read passages effectively. And no one taught me a lot of that important stuff. So we try to offer some of that structure for our kids here in middle school. And then there's also a class called C4, which again, we can talk about a little bit more further down the line. So our staff for our core classes, we have 2 language arts teachers, Ms. Koskinen and Ms. Maurer, math teachers, Mr. Hoffarth and Ms. Arndt, science, Ms. Bach and Ms. Kyle, and in social studies, we have Ms. Burgett and Mr. Hagens. We've got fabulous teachers that all teach at levels at the middle school. So there isn't, there's some sharing, obviously. You see there's not 3 language arts teachers, so there's not a 6th grade and a 7th grade and an 8th grade. There's a lot of sharing that goes on. We do have, overall in our building, we have 72 licensed people, 840 students that come from 9 different schools. And yet, from what I've seen here, it feels like a family. It feels small. It feels intimate. It's not a huge, gigantic place with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids attending all their classes. It really is a family, and it's a word that we use a lot, and I think we mean. Your students will feel welcome and known. They'll know their teachers really well, and their teachers are going to know them right back. And every teacher here, their main goal is to make sure your students are getting what they need, or that we're providing what's best for them, and that we remember that we're all in this together and we're here for your kids. And these teachers are excellent examples of that, as are our allied staff. Again, things look a little bit different this year, but main things that I want to highlight, we do have 3 music teachers, Miss Jennison for choir, Mr. Zahn for band, and Miss McMillan for orchestra. So that's one of the major shifts in middle school. Rather than just having a general music elective, like you might have had in elementary school, we do have options, and it's an opportunity for kids to pick up an instrument, whether they would like to look at joining in the band and playing a band instrument or an orchestra instrument, or joining the choir. So there's some great options there. We have our PE teachers, Mr. Ritter and Miss Reichel, our AVID teacher and our counselor, Miss Thompson, robotics and coding teachers, Miss Kyle and Mr. Hoffarth. Then there's an art elective, which again this year looks a little bit different. And then there's also health with Mr. Ritter and Miss Reichel. So some people ask about our advanced classes, and here at Kennedy we do offer both an accelerated math and an advanced language arts. And there are 2 levels of math acceleration. There's a 1 level and a 2 level. And if that's something that you're interested in, this is just a quick snapshot of what that looks like. If it's something that you think your student would want to do or qualify for, or your 5th grade teacher is maybe talking about. What we do to determine that is we look at 2 out of the 3 last STAR math tests, and whether you scored in the 93rd or above percentile. And in addition, we look at the most current math MCA data, which again, be a little different this year, and whether you exceed standards. And that would qualify students for a 1-year math acceleration. The 2-year does happen, and if you have questions on that, you're welcome to reach out. And in addition, you saw there was an advanced language arts option, and that is by application. So if that's something you're interested in, again, as we move towards the spring, if you have questions, you're welcome to contact any one of us here, me especially, and I'll be glad to help you through that. So part of the main change into middle level is the idea of a transition. And as a middle school teacher, I can tell you that it oftentimes looks like this really big transition because school itself looks different. It's not just a homeroom teacher. There's 6 teachers, and you have choices that you maybe didn't have before. But I can tell you that here at Kennedy, this transition is really smooth and really easy, and it doesn't feel as big. Our staff does a great job of making this a seamless transition from 5th grade to 6th grade or into the middle level. One of those transitions is a Chromebook. We use Chromebooks at the middle school, and obviously part of what we teach is responsibility and citizenship. So we make sure we're teaching and require appropriate use for that technology. Our goal here is to use it to enrich academics and foster communication with families. We want to make it as easy as we can to communicate back and forth with each other. And students are expected to be responsible custodians of their devices, meaning not just are you expected to use it properly, you're expected to treat it properly. And again, this is probably not news to any of you, seeing as how our school year has been its own transition this year. And obviously for those devices, just like we've been talking about all year, we would like these devices, these Chromebooks, to be for school use. Like I said, middle school is a transition. And one of those things that you may start to notice, or that you may see partly because of our schedule, as well as just by design, is there's an increase in independence. And a part of that independence is, going from class to class and making some of these choices, like your music choices, or choosing to be in an activity or an athletic of some kind. But it's important to know that a part of that independence, we also make sure that we try to scaffold you with support, that while we give that independence, we're also there to help and assist students as they gain that. We don't just send them out the door and say good luck. We're here to help with that transition every step of the way. Recess and lunch look a little bit different as well. There's a little bit more independence there. And again, I know lunch this year has been a little less open as it maybe has been before, but you're free to be a little bit more social at our recess and lunch times, where you maybe didn't have that same amount of freedom in elementary school. And then next, to go along with our that increased independence and responsibility, there's homework just like there is in elementary school. But instead of Seesaw, which is what you guys are used to using, we use a platform called Schoology. And that platform is a really great way that our teachers are organizing their work, their expectations, links that you might need, videos to watch, pretty much everything that you would need for the course of your school day is also found in Schoology. And we all got really good at it this year while we were teaching from a distance. This middle school staff, as I've watched them work, they're outstanding in using that platform in a way that makes sense and that kids can navigate really easily. And it's really very user-friendly and accommodating for kids. And then in addition, you guys are probably already aware of Skyward. It's a software that you use to help communicate with families, check your grades, learn about attendance, check for missing assignments. That doesn't change much, but it becomes a little bit more, we find families use it a little bit more when they get to middle school, just because there's a little bit more to keep track of with the additional classes outside of just the one elementary school classroom. I have been talking for 16 minutes straight. And one of the things that I actually don't have a lot of experience with here is leadership at Kennedy, but I believe Dana can tell us a little bit about leadership here. So Dana, if you're on, and I see you also have your hand up for questions. So why don't you tell us about leadership, and then tell me what questions we have and I can help answer.
Okay, so this goes perfectly because we have some questions about what kind of clubs we offer. And so this is a great chance for all of our new middle schoolers to spread their wings, apply for clubs or join clubs that hold a special interest to them, and then let them be leaders and really make a difference. The school is their community. This is part of their family. And so we really want them to be active participants. We have ambassadors, which is a group that is all about giving back and doing some service work, whether that's at Kennedy, whether that's in the community, and they're a great group, always looking for jobs and ways to help. Student council is much like many other schools, so we have student representatives for each of the advisory groups, advisory classes, and they help facilitate like our middle school dances, things that we haven't seen much of in the last year, but hope to get going and get back to business as soon as possible. So many of our student councils do the decorating and the planning and just getting everything all set for things like our middle school dances and toy drives, things like that. We have elementary helpers. So often we are taking them, we all like to have all the kids at least try to be an elementary helper at one point, and then they get to choose whether or not they want to continue to be an elementary helper. These are kids who go down and help our kindergartners, especially. A lot of times, if you remember being in kindergarten, opening that milk carton, getting breakfast ready, those are all things that can be challenging as new kindergartners, and so they get to go down there and help and build those leadership skills. We also have robotics, which I'm going to turn over to Miss Kyle. She is in charge of our robotics group. Will you talk a little bit about robotics, Miss Kyle?
Sure, I'd love to. Okay, so robotics is something that is new to Kennedy. I guess we're going into our third year. We're in our third year right now. And we have teams of students that work together to design a robot that meets a challenge. And every year the challenge is unique and it's different. And it's super challenging, which is why they call it a challenge. But I love VEX because it opens up so many doors for students to use problem-solving skills, hang out with their friends, learn how to code, do something exciting and challenging and fun that they didn't realize would be so much fun. And so we have gone to state the past couple years with 1 and 2 teams. And so we've done really good, I think. But it really, if you ask any of the students that are in robotics, if you know anybody that is in robotics, they'll tell you every single time, I didn't realize I would have so much fun building a robot. I didn't realize I would learn how to problem solve, and I use that problem solving in like my everyday life. And I know how to code, and that's really cool because I like doing it. And so it's a real fun thing to get kids involved in STEM, and it lasts all the way through college and into the future. So it's a great program, Bex Robotics.
Thank you. We also have our play that we usually put on. Miss Maury, do you want to talk a little bit about drama in our play?
I would love to. I am one of 2 of our Kennedy directors. Actually, many of the students would know our other Kennedy director. It's Mrs. Bauer. She is our elementary music teacher. And her and I have been doing the play together now for about 7 years. Unfortunately, due to COVID this year, the play is still currently on hold. But normally our play, last year we did our very first musical. So we'll now start and alternating every other year with a musical. And we are really fortunate that we have the ability to partner with St. Ben's. So we actually go over and use St. Ben's theater on their campus. And our kids get a true theater experience. We use the makeup room, we use the lighting, we use mics. It's really a really wonderful opportunity that we've created with our local college. And we have really enjoyed doing that the last several years. And we look forward to continuing that relationship. And any 6th, 7th, or 8th grader is welcome to be in the play. So we have lots of things. Kids do backstage roles. Kids do the hair and makeup. I do not do the hair and makeup. And the kids do the acting. They do the lights. St. Ben's teaches our students how to run all of the soundboards and all of the lights. So Miss Bauer and I pretty much just stand there on show night, and I make sure the curtain opens and closes. That's pretty much been my only job like the last couple of years. And Mrs. Bauer videotapes, but we're really proud of all of that our kids have achieved through the play, and we can't wait to continue that tradition.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. One of the things that we're actually going to, I do have a very exhaustive list of athletics and activities that I'll get to towards the end as well, but those are some great ones to highlight. And speaking of staff highlighting the amazingness here at Kennedy, I do have something called a Flipgrid that our middle school staff contributed to and helped set up. And if you're unfamiliar with Flipgrid, it is a really easy way for people to submit a video, and then people can go back and see those videos later. So we had all of our staff kind of be able to introduce themselves since we weren't able to do it in person. And that's going to be shared out to you via Skyward about 6:30 tonight, 6:45, somewhere in there. And all you got to do is click the link that comes through, just like the flyer that came through earlier today and last week. And you'll get to meet all the amazing people that I keep telling you about that you may not be able to see yet. And in addition, we had some really awesome middle school students that wanted to share what middle school has been like for them at Kennedy. So some real boots on the ground kind of experience. And they're awesome. And they tell a really accurate, truthful story of what it's like here. And you couldn't ask for it more succinctly than from the kids that are living it. So that'll come out to you guys in a little bit. For now, we'll pop back to the slides on the screen. So we talked about leadership. We talked about this transition already. I kind of jumped the gun on this. Specifically, the transition to 5th to 6th may obviously look a little bit different just depending on the learning model we're in and following our guidelines. But we will have some meaningful way to help 5th graders feel like they're transitioning into that middle school way of life. And typically we partner with 7th graders for a week and kind of get to know some kids that way, so that when the 5th graders come and become a part of the middle school next year, they already know some people because they've gotten to know some 7th graders. We try to do some bonding activities as well as kind of show them what we offer here. And that point is what I keep talking about, is to make this feel more like a family. And it's something that I do think that Kennedy really does excel in. So getting involved, we think middle school is a great time for kids to start getting involved in athletics and other activities that they're interested in. And the general attitude of athletics and activities here is inclusivity. We want kids to learn what they're passionate about. We want kids to learn what they enjoy, kids to learn new skills. And part of that is making sure you guys know that you're all welcome. There aren't cuts. We want everyone to learn the fundamentals. We're a school. We want to teach. We want kids to learn. So we want to make sure that we're providing that foundation in our extracurriculars, just like we are during the school day in our classroom. So all of those things are important. We want to, like I said, focus on skills. Kids will get equal playing time, and there are opportunities in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Tonight, we really are aimed at you incoming 6th graders, but for anyone else that happens to be on that's in a later grade, I will go through the list briefly. I won't get into any extensive detail, but some of the stuff we do partner with North Junior High, and some of the stuff, depending on the grade level, we partner with at Apollo, just because we are that nice, small, intimate, family-like school. To really get that team experience, we're able to partner with some of our bigger school friends as well. So in the fall for athletics in 6th grade or 7th or 8th, we do have football that we partner with North. We have boys and girls soccer, and we have volleyball. In the winter, we have boys and girls basketball. In the spring, we have baseball and softball, as well as track for boys and girls that we partner with North. And then our activities, the list is long. We have future problem solving, geography B, knowledge bowl, math league, robotics, spelling bee, jazz band, chamber choir, fiddle club, theater, service learning, we act, and student council. So there's a ton of opportunities. No matter what you think you might be into, there's lots of great things to try. And for those of you that are maybe listening that are 7th and or 8th graders, these are not things that are offered right away in 6th grade, but they are offered while you're here at Kennedy. Tennis, girls swimming, cross country, boys and girls, adapted soccer, track team in the winter, boys swimming, wrestling, dance team, adapted floor hockey, Nordic skiing for boys and girls hockey, and then in the spring, boys tennis, boys and girls golf, adapted softball, and track team again. So there's a lot. There's a lot of great things to do here at Kennedy.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, of course.
I have a question about robotics from someone. Ms. Kyle, is it only for 7th and 8th, or is there a way 6th graders can participate?
Robotics is for grades 6, 7, and 8. And my students today wanted me to remind everybody that you can be in sport, you can be in many different clubs, and you can be in robotics at the same time. Our season runs September to whenever we're done. And that sometimes is February. In the past, it's been April.
Thanks, Ms. Kyle. Thanks, Ms. Thompson. The one thing I want to make sure that I give just a couple minutes to before we're done for the night is Ms. McMillan. I would be remiss if I didn't give you a chance to talk very briefly about how we talked about how there's a lot of opportunity in music, but parents might be wondering how to choose a path or how to go about telling us or you or them what we want to do.
Sure. So the three performance groups in middle school are choir, band, and orchestra. If you know you love to sing, then choir is a great place. If you enjoy string instruments, such as violin, viola, cello, bass, etc., then orchestra is the right choice for you. And if you enjoy woodwind instruments or brass instruments like trumpet, clarinet, etc., those are taught in band. And then as you learn your instrument, various opportunities open up, such as that honor choir, jazz band, and fiddle club, which sometimes happen before school. We also have, if you're worried because you both love to sing and play an instrument, a really common thing to do at Kennedy is to, I have a lot of orchestra students in my class who, in a normal year, do before school honor choir. And so they come in and they sing before school. And I think usually it's once or twice a week and for honor choir. And then they come to class and they learn how to play their instrument. And that way they have both continued singing and they've learned how to play a new instrument. So those are a couple things to look forward. We also have some crossover. You know, I have bass players from the orchestra who go and play in jazz band, and occasionally I bring a drummer over from band into orchestra. And so there's certain instruments that cross over between band, orchestra, and choir more. And sometimes we join forces at Kennedy, since our groups are a little small, and sometimes we do things like Pep Symphony, where we have everybody involved.
That's awesome.
And there's more information coming your way through your music class and through email with our district Be Part of the Music video, and you'll be getting instrument demonstrations and chats in your music class soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Ms. McMillan. So we are at 6:30, and it's almost like I timed that to perfection. That is, I realize, just a very short overview of what goes on here. But if you walk away with one piece of information, it's that we're going to love your kids. We're here for your kids. That's why we are here. We all want what's best for them. We all want to see them be successful. And this place, and I've been quite a few now that I've been in education for a while, this place is special. And I truly look forward to having all of your kids join us at the middle level next year as well. So thank you all so much for attending. If you do have friends that weren't able to make it, or people that want to know more about it, we did record it, and we'll be either sending it out and or posting it to our district social media, so that if anyone wants to hear me speak for a half hour, they can do that as well. So please, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you're welcome to get a hold of me here at Kennedy. Everyone that's at the middle level would be glad to answer questions as well, but I can help send them in the right directions. So just let me know, give me a call, or send me an email. I'm just michael.smith@isd742.org. So thank you all so much for being a part of our evening tonight, and we truly can't wait for next year. Thanks again for coming, and thanks to our wonderful middle school folks that were on with us this evening as well. Really appreciate all of your help tonight. Thanks.